Hello students, here we solve this problem but some technical issues are there, so my voice is not clear in our previous lecture or in our recorded lecture. Here we again explain this problem. Okay, so opening stock of raw material is transferred or is beneficial to find out the material consumed, so write it in front of opening stock of raw material as material consumed or used for material consumed. Purchases of raw material is add in opening stock of raw material. Okay, so it is also useful to find out the material consumed. Closing stock of raw material is deducted from material available for use and we get a material consumed. Okay. Carriage inward means the expenses incurred for purchase of raw material, so it is add in opening stock of raw material or purchases of raw material. Okay, here purchases of raw material. Okay, so here remember this, the expenses incurred for purchase of raw material is add in purchase of raw material. Okay, so we add this 5000 in purchase of raw material. Wages direct wages is add in material consumed, we get prime cost. Indirect wages, factory overheads, so it is a expenses which is related to factory, so transfer to factory overheads. Other direct charges means other direct expenses, charges means expenses, add in material consumed, we get a prime cost of the organization. Next, rent and rates, factory transfer to factory, office transfer to office. Indirect consumption of material, add in factory overheads because the material is used in factory, so indirect consumption of material is related to factory overheads. Okay, so it is transferred under the head of factory overheads. Depreciation on plant is used in factory, so add it in factory overheads. Okay, so here plant depreciation add in factory overheads. Office furniture transfer to office. Okay, salary of office transfer to office overheads. Salary of salesman transfer to selling and distribution overheads. Other factory expenses transfer to factory. Managing director's remuneration should not be taken into consideration. We understood the items excluded from cost sheet. So managing director remuneration, partners remuneration are excluded from cost sheet. So it is ignore. Other selling expenses transfer to selling overheads. Traveling expenses of salesman, selling and distribution overheads. Carriage and freight outward transfer to selling overheads because here outward is transferred to selling and distribution overheads, but inward is transferred to purchase. Okay, or add in purchase. Here outward means sales outward expenses, so here we add these expenses in selling and distribution overheads. Sales is useful to find out the net profit of the organization or net loss of the organization. Advance income tax item is related to financial accounting, so it should not be taken into consideration while preparing the cost sheet. Advertisement means promotion of product is transferred or add in selling and distribution overheads. Here additional information is provided to you, that is managing director remuneration. Here managing director remuneration is not taken into consideration, so these adjustment is given for your confusion. Okay, so don't confuse in this adjustment. We ignore this item, so there is no effect of this adjustment on cost sheet. Okay, so all the items we transferred, now we prepare the cost sheet. Okay, so Messrs Moonshine Industries Limited cost sheet for the financial year 2018-2019. Okay, opening stock of raw material is given in the problem, that is 25,000. Okay, then we add purchases of raw material 85,000. Then we add carriage inward rupees 5,000. Make this total of two items, purchases of raw material and carriage inward, is rupees 90,000. This 90,000 is add in opening stock of raw material. We get a material available for use, that is rupees 1,15,000. Then we deduct closing stock of raw material from material available for use is rupees 45,000. Then we get a rupees 70,000 as material consumed by the industry. Okay, then we add, or in material consumed we add a direct wages, that is 75,000, and other direct charges or expenses rupees 15,000. Then we make the total of these direct wages and direct charges is rupees 90,000, and this 90,000 is add in material consumed rupees 70,000. We get rupees 1,60,000 as prime cost. Okay, in prime cost we add factory overheads, factory overheads. Okay, so all the factory expenses or all the expenses which are related to factory are transferred under the head of factory overhead. So here indirect wages is expenses related to factory overheads, so transfer to factory overheads rupees 10,000. Rent and rates factory rupees 5,000 transfer to factory. Indirect material consumed, so indirect material consumed, so here indirect means, or indirect material is consumed in factory. Okay, so it is transferred to factory overheads. Here, uh, to understand the meaning of indirect material, here indirect material means the material used. So material, where we use the material is used in factory, so it is considered the expenses of factory overhead. So material consumed is factory overheads. Depreciation on plant is used in factory, so depreciation on plant, these expenses or depreciation on plant is a factory expenses or factory overheads. Other factory expenses rupees 5,700. Then we make the total of factory overheads, that is 22,700 is total of factory overheads, and this 22,700 is add in prime cost rupees 1,60,000. We get a rupees 1,82,700 as factory cost or work on cost. Okay, then we add, okay, in factory cost or work on cost we add office and administrative overheads. Okay, office and administrative overheads. Okay, so office and administrative overheads, so those expenses which are related to office and administration are transferred under this head. Okay, so rent and rates rupees 500, depreciation on office furniture rupees 100, and salary office rupees 2,500. Okay, these three items are related to office and administration overhead. So we make this total of three items and write it in outer column. So total is 3,100. This 3,100 is add in factory cost, that is rupees 1,82,700. We get 1,85,800 as cost of production. Okay, so we get a cost of production is rupees 1,85,000. In cost of production we add selling and distribution overheads. Okay, so all those expenses which are related to selling and distribution are consider under this head. Okay, so here sales salary to salesman rupees 2000, other selling expenses rupees 1000, traveling expenses to salesman rupees 1100, carriage and freight outward. Okay, outward is related to sales, so carriage and freight outward is always transferred to selling and distribution overheads rupees 1000, advertisement rupees 2000. Okay, then we make the total of selling and distribution overheads, and this total is rupees 7100, and this 7100 is add in 1,85,800. Okay, we get 1,92,900 as total cost or cost of production. Okay, sorry, total cost or cost of sales. Okay, here, okay, we find out the cost of sale or total cost, that is rupees 1,92,900. Then we find out the net profit or net loss of the organization, that is rupees, or that is how we find out, that is sales minus total cost. Okay, sales minus total cost. If the total cost is more than the sales, then the organization or industry is incurred net loss. Okay, we write it below the solution here. If the total cost or cost of sales is more than the sales, then the industry incurred a net loss. Okay, and if the sales is more than the total cost or cost of sales, then the industry is earned a net profit. Okay, so here in our problem, the net in our problem the sales is more than the net profit. Okay, sales is more than, sorry, not net profit, sales is more than total cost. Okay, so here the moonshine industry is earned net profit is rupees 57,100. Okay, here, so remember this profit. Okay, if the sales is more than total cost, then the industry earn net profit. If the total cost is more than sales, then industry incurred a net loss. Okay, in our previous lecture we solved the problem number 5 on preparation of cost sheet. In our today's lecture we solve a problem number 6 on preparation of cost sheet. In our next lecture we are start a new content of this unit, that is quotation and tender. We only overlook the theory of quotation and tender, and I give you some problems on preparation of cost sheet as homework. So solve these 3 or 4 problem in your notebook, and these solved problem are share with me on WhatsApp or on my email ID. Okay, thank you very much.